Good morning, everybody. Happy post Mardi Gras Friday. It's good to be back with you and to do the sixth installment of the Breaking the Code video. As always, this is designed to help you understand and to write about literature. We will focus on Act 5, Scene 3 of Henry VI, Part 1, and specifically on the character of Joan of Arc. And I want to just point out to you that I'll have questions for you more than answers in this one. Our job is to look at criticism, scholarly academic writing, and just take issue with it, whether we agree with the points of the author or disagree with the points of the author. And I want you to feel confident that it's okay to disagree just as much as it is to agree. Sometimes there are multiple right ways of looking at the same passage, just as well as there are multiple wrong ones. But let's put this into context before we read what Joan of Arc says before she's captured and eventually burned at the stake. Remember that Shakespeare is living, when the play was written, under one of the most famous and powerful monarchs in the history of the world, Queen Elizabeth I. She could be a bloody, torturous shrew with what she did with the Catholics. But she could also be a very shrewd and disciplined and organized leader, especially when it came to her personal relationships as they related to maintaining the chastity of herself and England, right? Not to be violated. Joan is not that figure. She's definitely a contrast from the Queen in many ways. She seems to work in the spirit world, and she doesn't have any problem with frolicking with lots of nobles because she thinks it gives her power, maybe even a queenly power in her own way. Now we're going to look at this piece here in which she's trying to invoke the spirits to get her aims to liberate France from English control as we near the end of the 100 Years' War. And I'm going to read it to you, and I just want you to think about it. She says, "The regent conquers and the Frenchmen fly. Now help, ye charming spells and periapts, and ye choice spirits that admonish me and give me signs of future accidents." They respond, thunder. "Ye speedy helpers that are substitutes under the lordly monarch of the north, appear and aid me in this enterprise. This speedy and quick appearance argues proof of your accustomed diligence to me. Now, ye familiar spirits that are culled out of the powerful regions under earth, help me this once, that France may get the field." They walk out and speak not. "Oh, hold me not with silence over long. Where I was wont to feed you with my blood, I'll lop a member off and give it to you in earnest of further benefit, so you do condescend to help me now." They hang their heads. "No hope to have redress? My body shall pay recompense, if you will grant my suit." They shake their heads. "Cannot my body nor blood sacrifice entreat you to your wonted furtherance? Then take my soul, my body, soul and all, before that England give the French the foil." They depart. "See, they forsake me. Now the time has come that France must veil her lofty plumed crest and let her head fall into England's lap. My ancient incantations are too weak and held too strong for me to buckle with. Now France, thy glory droopeth to the dust." So, again, the Age of Enlightenment isn't going to happen until well after Shakespeare's death. How we view things with the idea of rationale, scientific reason, problem solving, that's not Shakespeare's world. It's the one of spirits and incantations and spells, and a very aloof and very unpredictable humanity. A humanity that would be trying to gain power in any way it can, maybe even organization in any way it can, to define itself as it sees fit. Historically, we're at almost the end of the 100 Years' War. We know that Joan of Arc would lead the French into 13 battles, would liberate 30 French towns. At the end of it all, the territory that England had gained under Henry V would be returned, basically, to France, right, to almost the borders that we know now. Yet here she seems to, let's just say, fail right before her arrest. So, what do you think about this? Is Shakespeare being a savvy playwright who knows how to market his work? Is he writing for an audience that will see a difference between his own Queen Elizabeth and the seemingly irrational person who deals in the netherworld and dark spirits? Is this what you do for your audience? Do you paint a picture that's different between England and France, where England is good, France is bad? I don't know. You have to think about that. Is this just a down point in which before she's burned at the stake, she doesn't realize the good that she has done, for instance. As we look at her character and we think about it more, I want you to think about power and what it means to be in the position of being a queen or a leader, especially in a time that was long ago and we don't necessarily understand. Joan would be vilified for showing any trait. If she were a chaste virgin, she was inexperienced and not capable of leading. If she slept with a lot of the nobles who were under her power in a military sense, she would be a whore, right? Somebody who is doesn't have discipline, doesn't have structure. And when everything fails, okay, here at the end, when it seems that the spirits have just left without answering her, she says, "See, they forsake me." Is she just a victim? Is she a weak woman? Is that how you view her? So I'm curious what you'll find when you read the criticism about Joan of Arc's life. How are we supposed to view her in context? Saint Joan of Arc, a leader of men into battle, a liberator of France, or a weak person who dealt in the spirit world, who would do anything to get what she wanted personally and militarily? How do you see her legacy, and how do you see her in the context of the play? For now, I'll just leave those questions to you. But the point is this. A critic might view it either way, and both might be right. Whenever you're reading a play like this, focus on the evidence, not just in the passage that I read, but throughout the text, to try to build a case for your own understanding about the character of Joan of Arc. Do you like her? Do you not like her? That's yours to answer. And when you engage in a dialogue with a critic that you choose, what I want to see in your essays is a real good exposition of your ideas, where you clearly put forth how you feel about her, what passages like this make you think about when you read the play. As always, I'll be out here for you guys if you have questions. I look forward to seeing you again in office hours, on Zoom, etc. So let me know how I can help you. And for right now, have a good weekend.